What's up, YouTube? This your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video presentation, hopefully with that high level information. Alright, I had to switch up the intro a little bit. I was watching videos and so many people say back again with another video. It's your man. So I don't know, I gotta switch it up, trying some new things out. Bear with me here. Give me your input down below if you got some great ideas. Alright, so today, man, I wanted to talk to you all about some things that I've been thinking about recently, right? And in particular, these two words. These words being patience and composure, right? I feel like these words have held some meaning in my life for the past couple of years, and in the recent couple of weeks, months, they've been showing up even more, right? So I really wanted to dive into that and give you kind of my thoughts on those two things today. What jumped this whole thing off was what prompted this video was the other day I was watching this, scrolling through my YouTubes, and I seen this title that said Deshaun Watson has the composure of Tom Brady. So I was like, well, I need to watch that. So let's watch it now.
Deshaun Watson, who again looked great last night, guys.
You know, I hate saying that there's a learning lesson or something to smile about or a silver lining in a loss, but when you look at Deshaun Watson and his loss up against Tom Brady and the Patriots, Deshaun Watson and his loss up against the Kansas City Chiefs and Alex Smith, this young man's special. It's crazy. I'm not the guy, I'm the last dude to jump on and say, hey, you lost the game, but no. But he looks amazing. He doesn't look like a rookie. I know that gets thrown around when you see a rookie making a good play, but no, when he's in the pocket and there's chaos surrounding him, he does have the composure of Tom Brady, which is crazy because when you listen to people talk about him going into the draft, they use the name like Tom Brady, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan. And there's something about the way he plays, his athletic ability, and bringing it all on the big stage in the big moment. So I'm just repeating everything I heard about him going into the draft, and guess what? It's true.
So I was listening to that and I was like, oh, that's interesting, right? Because I think a lot of times when we think composure, we think experience, we think like wisdom that comes with that, and then being able to have the understanding that composure is really what you need. Even when you think about Tom Brady, last year in the Super Bowl, they were down, 28-3 or something like that. And most people, like he's saying, there's so much drama and things happen around you. And when you're 28-3, most people will freak out and completely lose all composure and take that L, you know what I'm saying? But I think when you're a composed individual, those things don't happen. Somehow you remain calm. Somehow you keep your cool in those situations and you stick to whatever process or plan and you continue to play. Especially when he described him as a person with great athletic ability, right? When you're composed, your athletic ability has an opportunity to be on display, right? When you're freaking out or whatever and you're running around, it don't even matter how athletic you are because your mind isn't in it, right? And one of the first times that I'll say the word composure really started to stick out to me as something to really dig deeper into is after that Mayweather-McGregor fight, right? One of the big things that McGregor kept saying after he lost was he was composed. He was composed. Let's watch it.
The stats also had you landing 111 significant shots over the entire fight. Considering people said you won't land a shot, you landed more significant strikes than Manny Pacquiao did against Floyd Mayweather.
I don't care about all that. Fair play to him. He was composed and experienced. His speed, his power, his skill was okay. I wasn't, is this the best boxer ever? You know what I mean? I felt handy the first early rounds. I thought his composure is what won him the fight. Fair play to him. I think with a bit more experience, I beat him. I wasn't overwhelmed by skill. I wasn't overwhelmed by speed. I wasn't overwhelmed by power. It was his composure. It was his when to throw shots and when not to throw shots, and that was that.
So that's the thing that actually is the reason why that was even a fight to be had, right? You take this guy, Conor McGregor, who's bigger, taller, younger than Floyd Mayweather, and physically is supposed to be able to handle him when it comes to just the physics of bodies, right? He weighed more. He was just, what, 15, 20 pounds heavier on fight night, right? Generally, if somebody's bigger than you like that, and an elite level fighter like McGregor is, like, they should have some type of an advantage. And I feel like it really speaks to, like, the value of being a composed individual when he's saying, like, yo, it wasn't that he was faster, hit harder, or anything like that. It's just that in those moments when things got hectic, he managed to still stick to this game plan of knowing when to throw shots, when not to throw shots. In that interview with Conor, he starts talking about, like, in his own like history of fighting, where there's this moment in the fight where he can't see the end of it anymore, and he goes through this wobbly phase of, like, oh man, this is never going to end. And then he's saying that he has to get through there, and then eventually, once he starts seeing the end, he can come back and then start fighting, right? So it's this ideal of, like, at no point in that fight was he ever actually too tired to fight. It's just that his mental state would not allow him to do it, because he lost his composure in that moment, and he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I guess it's not going. And then he takes that L. He talked about that. He mentioned in the DS2 fight and having that same phase of where he just lost all composure and then started kind of bobbling around and started taking a beating. But in that fight, he was able to regain said composure and then go on to win it. That didn't happen with Mayweather, because Mayweather put the pause on him and got the fight stopped. You know what I'm saying? So I think that all of that's so interesting to me, man. And why that's interesting is because in my own life, right, I think about these this ideal of patience and composure, and what those two are actually, what's different, right? I think if you look at in that Conor McGregor fight, right, in those rounds where he's like, man, I'm out of it. I'm just trying. Hopefully, I can get to the next, like, I can get to the end of this fight. Like, those are things where I feel like you're enacting patience, right? And when you're like a Mayweather in that fight where he's walking forward, and that's one of the things that is so interesting about boxing, and that's different than MMA, is being in that close quarter situation, right? When you're standing toe to toe with somebody, body to body, and that person has some type of knockout power, and you're nervous and worried about that said knockout power, like, that's when you get knocked out, right? What makes Mayweather so dope is that in those moments, he's still boxing, he's still worried, he's still aware of everything that's happening, everything that's going on in the ring. His composure is at such a high level, right? So I used to have this ideal of, like, patience, right? You needed patience, right? There's this moment in my life where so many crazy things were happening. I'm talking about drama coming from every aspect of it, career, relationships, just life in general, where shit was just weighing on me a lot. And I'm typically the guy, if you know me, most people who know me are like, man, I don't even see a time where you would even be mad or bothered by anything, which is standard for me. Like, I'm pretty chill guy, but I've been through some moments where I was kind of going through it, man. I was questioning everything that was happening, and in those moments, I used to have this thing where I would pray, and I'd be praying for patience. I'd be praying for, like, just God to bless me with patience to, like, wait and get through this turmoil and its trials and tribulations, and just let me get through the other side, and just patience and just the ability to just be able to endure and take it and then get to the other side, right? And I would tell you that in praying for patience, man, I really feel like I was blessed with it. I just have the ability to just be cool and wait and do all of these things and help and get to the other side, right? But I was listening to this thing, and I wish I could remember who said it so I could give them credit for really blessing me with this gem. But somebody was talking about how when you are praying for patience, to be careful because you may be blessed with patience. And he was talking about how, like, in the moments where you're praying for patience, you will have patience, right? But you will also be blessed with circumstances that require you to use said patience, right? And then in being so great at patience, those circumstances that utilize your patience won't stop. So it's just like when you're acting out and you're being patient and you're waiting for these things to come to an end, they're not, especially when you're praying for patience. You're praying for opportunities to be patient, right? And I realized that I didn't really want patience, man. I really wanted the tools that I needed to persevere, to kind of overcome these situations, right? I really needed these things that I could enact to affect my own situation, right? Because I feel like what happens is when you start talking about patience, we're talking about waiting on everybody else to get in position for us to win, right? When actuality, we want to have the skill set to manipulate a situation for us to win, right? And I feel like that is the difference that I see when I think about composure, right? Is composure in some essence sounds like the ability to wait, but I believe that composure to me sounds like having the ability to continue with the plan, to continue to fulfill the process in the midst of chaos and drama and all of those things, right? Instead of patiently waiting for that to settle, composure is, I understand that this crazy thing is happening around me, but I'm going to keep my blinders on and I'm going to get to where I'm going. You feel me? And so with all of that, so that's just kind of that's some shit that I had started embracing, right? And then as I started hearing this word composure and patience being used just recently in my life, you know what I'm saying, I had just been drawn to seeing what people are talking about it. And I was on ESPN and they had this video and it was entitled Russell Westbrook Preaches Patience. And I was like, okay, I would love to hear what Russell Westbrook has to say about patience. I believe that he's one of the most fierce competitors in like sports today. So like I want to hear what he has to say. So this was his video.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it, man. I think one thing key for everybody to know, especially you guys keep asking about the chemistry every damn day. We're gonna get it together, man. It's a season-long thing. It's not gonna happen overnight, and we're gonna get it together. So you keep asking us every day. It's not gonna change. And what's gonna happen? We're gonna get it together. Man. We're all professionals. This is something that obviously we want to see work and make it happen. We win the championship, so it's gonna be a process. So action every day is not gonna change it. Just so you know. So we're aware of that.
I was expecting him to be talking about patience, but as you see from watching that video, he doesn't even mention patience. And even he's talking about, he's giving advice to reporters and the media and the fans of, hey, we have a process that we're working out, and just so you know, it won't happen overnight, right? So what I hear is he's talking about, and he's exemplifying this composure of, yes, it may be looking a little crazy right now. You may be asking me every day what's going on, but we're cool. We know what we're doing, and we're going to continue this process and get here. But you as media fans, as myself, as my boy Russ for MVP, I voted for him, or I would have. He said, yo, you gotta exercise patience, right? Because for us who are sitting on the outside looking in, we don't really have much effect on what they have going, right, on their process. These reporters can ask them every day about what the chemistry is looking like, and it will not affect the process that they've put in place, right? Because they have composure in order to deal with that outside noise and then to continue to follow the plan that is put in place. Now, like I'm saying, man, these are some of the thoughts that I think, and this is the the way that I think about life, as far as, you know what I'm saying, when I'm looking forward and then I'm stepping into like anything that I'm doing, right? So even when it comes to this like YouTube thing, for instance, right? I have a plan. I have out in front of me, there's a number of subscribers that I would love to hit. There's a number of like views I would like to amass, but I also understand that like that comes with a certain amount of activity on my part, right? And which is tough because life happens around us, right? Work, relationships, family, my son, everything happens. And there are moments where like my composure is challenged and I don't get to really fully invest in this thing like I want to, right? And I have to change my frame of thinking to like, it's all I have to do is exercise patience, and like the viewership and the subscribers will come, when realistically patience is not going to make it happen. I've had this channel for years and it's hella patient. I ain't deleted the channel. The only thing is the composure to say, yes, life is happening around here, but I'm going to stick with this plan and then continue to upload and provide content such as the plan states, in the face of all of the things that are going around. Like, life is crazy. My son was just in the ICU like a couple weeks ago for like 4 days for an asthma attack, you know what I'm saying? Was not able to upload no videos, work and stuff. I'm about to hit New Orleans in a couple weeks and I'm gonna post like that. But there's plans and there's all these things that I put in place to help offset those moments when there's some like shortage of time for me to be able to upload, and it just takes the amount of composure that I have to have in order to continue to do that. So I say all that to say thank y'all for tuning in and watching, and I'm going to start trying to exercise a higher level of composure with all of the things that are happening in my life, and in order to provide content that I feel like is meaningful and is in line with my vision for this channel.